Welcome to the Energy and Frequency Podcast by the World Organization of Energy and Frequency Medicine. Today we have a very special gentleman. Not only is he a doctor, an ND, he is the founder of Rediscover Health Natural Medicine. So it's holistic, but really with the foundation in traditional medicine. Welcome, Dr. Lemmon.
Great to be here. Thank you, Carolina.
Thank you. I'm so looking forward to our conversations. You and I seem to never have enough time. Every time, it's been like short interviews at the summit and all these things. Our collaboration has been incredible. And so today, I'm hoping that we spend a little bit more time understanding mainly the biology of hope. When we think of the word hope, at least for me, I always think of emotions, of feelings, something abstract. But the minute that you bring it into biology, it just makes it real and tangible and quantifiable, qualifiable. Tell us about that. Let's start with the biology of hope.
Yeah, it's a great metaphor for just how life works, right? Everything is so interconnected, this intricate web of life. So every thing that we think, everything that we feel, creates these molecules and these neuropeptides and these hormones in our bodies, and that becomes biology, right? So a lot of people separate those things out and say, "Oh, hope is just this nebulous,
Wishful
abstract
thinking. Yeah.
thought, emotion, or oh, you're just having magical thinking or something like that." But uh, our hope is a power that creates, like I said, neuropeptides, hormones, neurotransmitters, all those things come from those thoughts and emotions. And it's a kind of a self fulfilling cycle where those thoughts and feelings and emotions create those neurotransmitters and hormones. And then those hormones and neurotransmitters generate more feelings and emotions and things like that. So you can create a downward spiral or an upward spiral depending on the direction of your compass, right? So that's a lot of the purpose of the book is to set that compass towards healing and that upward spiral journey. That there's hope, there's answers, there's physiology, there's biology, there's spirituality, there's emotion, and they're all connected and they all influence each other. So the more good things we can get in place, the more momentum you have for that upward spiral journey.
Yeah, and I love, thank you. You are the first person, of course, you're brilliant. You are the first person that has actually been able to crystallize and make concrete how is it that emotions and feelings become things in our body, that they materialize in our body, and it's through the energy and hormones and the signaling that is sending to the rest of our body. Thank you. It's so well said, right? Like we're definitely going to make sure the world hears this, because it's so easy to think of holistic. It's so easy to think of, as you said, wishful thinking, of it being woo woo or an abstract, or even when we think back to Pandora and when it opened and released all of the, sins of the ailments or sins of, whatever of the world, the only one left was hope, right? And he said, well, why was hope mixed with all of the illnesses of the world, right? And so the word hope can have such a passive and a little bit judgmental, if we must go there, that someone's hoping and not doing,
Mm.
right? Like it's so easy, and even I must say I'm a little bit guilty where, people speak of vision boards and I'm like, well, I really would like a mission board. I really would like an action board, because again, right back to that, especially if you're a high achiever, it just seems that hoping or wishing or thinking is just not an active, not an active step into making things real. But now we're finding that through hormones and through the energy and the signaling that all those emotions and feelings send to your body, they are really things. It is the biology of hope.
And it's the springboard for action, right? So if your doctor says, oh, you have 6 months to live, there's no hope for you, we don't have any answers,
Yeah.
um, there's nothing more we can do for you.
Why is that?
you
That
you have
doctor
no hope, you have no reason to get out of bed in the morning, you have no reason to do
even
anything,
up,
right? So
right?
the point of this book is to create that springboard for action and doing when you are achievement focused, or even if you're not, having that foundation of hope of these are the answers, these are the things that can help you have more energy, help you get out of bed in the morning, help you sleep better at night, reduce the side effects of chemo and radiation, so that you can continue working if you want to, you can take the time off if you want to, you give more freedom, more options, more choices.
For life.
And yeah, and then that hope gives you that motivation. If you don't have hope that the sun is going to come up in the morning, then you're not going to wake up, you're not going to want to do anything. So the way I define hope is a very active, very
Intentional.
yeah, just very motivated, focused, um, having all the answers in front of you and taking action. There's action steps at the end of every chapter to keep it very active, like a workbook, and you're going through the steps and taking actions with every chapter that goes by. So it's definitely not a wishy-washy, passive kind of
Yeah,
hope.
it's not just a passive, oh, sit on your couch and you know and hope, right? Is I love it. It's the intentionality of hope, right? And you define it into the like specific seven pathways, how hope can manifest into those pathways. Now they're all mutually exclusive but inclusive, where you can't really do two but ignore the other five, and go on the on an average, right? If I get 4 out of 7, I pass, right? um Tell me, what brought you to realizing that the role of hope in biology, in every day living with a diagnosis.
Yeah, so I we kind of see a lot of those in self-improvement books and things like that. They have this wheel of life, and you rate your financial and your career and your physical and your mood goals, and or your current status and on each of those things, and you kind of see where it's in this circle, and you kind of see where these areas are out of balance, where you have a big dent or
It's
a flat
very powerful.
in
It's
the
a
wheel.
Yeah, it's a simple exercise, but it's super powerful.
So it's essentially building on that in the medical framework of understanding, as far as healing from a severe chronic disease, what are the seven spokes of that wheel of life, that wheel of healing, that need to be, they don't have to be in perfect equal balance, but they have to be all given attention, all having those boxes checked of you have to have something in place in each of those areas to have that full, well-rounded, comprehensive treatment plan. And conventional medicine focuses so much on the chemicals, the molecules, the chemotherapy, and the energy and radiation therapy. We got to blast it with these X-rays and gamma rays and just the most powerful, violent energy possible. And then surgery of just cutting it out and getting it out. And those things can all be critical in their time and in their place.
Mhm.
But it's missing all the other pathways, and it's also missing all the other treatments within those pathways of what about the healing energies. Instead of blasting the cancer cells with radiation, what about that energy of love, or Reiki and energy medicine, using hands-on healing and things like that. So there's just so many other traditional pathways in Aboriginal or native uh,
Eastern.
methods of healing with energy medicine like Reiki or frequency medicine like the Royal Rife created his Rife generator about 100 years ago, and that has its ancestors now today, or its descendants today. So there's these frequency generators that you can dial in and just download these preset programs for any condition that you have and run those electrical frequencies through every cell in your body. And that can create just powerful changes in the physiology.
Yeah. And when we think cancer and holistic, I don't know about you, but I often think of a glass hammer, right? It's like, you've got cancer. You've been diagnosed with cancer, be it stage 0 or, really a terminal diagnosis. So for anybody to say holistic, it's like time is not on my side, right? And but yet, really, what I get from your research and your work and is that it's really about living. Like it's about living between, sessions, between those aggressive modalities. You still have to wake up every day and you still have to make the most of your life every day, which is what the 7 pathways are, right? We all go through them, but when you are dealing with diagnosis, be it self or be it someone you love, right? That is your reality. That could be your last few days, or it could be your journey to a new beginning, or a remission, or an extension in the quality of life. So what is the biggest thing that surprises you when you begin to speak of people of the biology of hope and in the preparing your mind and body for the aggressive treatments?
Yeah, one of the big challenges is just the how shut down the conventional doctors are kind of trained to be. They're
Mhm.
kind of trained to say no to everything that's not in their wheelhouse of chemotherapy and radiation. They're never really taught diet and nutrition and things like that unless they've taken the time to study it outside of medical school. And so they don't know those anti-cancer foods. They don't know those foods that can help with healing from radiation. They don't know the botanical herbal medicines that can help target and pinpoint, make the cancer cells more susceptible to chemo and radiation and the healthy cells more protected. So you can create those. There's herbs and foods that are chemosensitizers that help the cancer cells be more like guided heat-seeking missiles to target those cancer cells directly instead of just killing all of your cells
Yeah.
equally. So instead of just an atomic bomb that's going to hurt all of your cells, the more you can use these holistic pathways to pinpoint and target those cancer cells specifically, the more it can be more precise, like a heat-seeking missile, like I said, that can be more targeted where there's so much less collateral damage, and the less damage there is, the less side effects there are, because that's what the side effects are, is your cells are being destroyed by this chemotherapy or this radiation. So if you can protect those healthy cells through these different methods that are outlined in the book and can be customized through one-on-one working with me.
And within your community, you have your community of practice as well, right?
Exactly. Yeah, there's so much support that you can surround yourself with and just wrap yourself in that blanket of support and love and information and guidance to create that optimal outcome, because that's what everyone wants. Is you don't want to have any regrets. And unfortunately there's this kind of family dynamic that happens a lot where there's this outside pressure from family and friends to either, if family and friends happen to be more naturally focused, then there'll be judgments if you decide to do chemotherapy and like, don't do that, that's poison, it's going to kill you. or the other way around, where they're more conventionally minded, family and friends, and there's this pressure of,
What do you
oh,
mean you're doing holistic?
you
Yeah.
can't do holistic natural treatments for cancer. You got to follow your doctor's orders, and so that's why that integration is so critical, because legally and ethically, and for all the other reasons, you want to have the best of both worlds. Like, cancer research has come a long way. There are a lot of really powerful targeted immunotherapies now that can just knock out cancer cells if they find the right medication for it. So there's new breakthroughs happening in conventional medicine all the time, but it's not a cure-all, and by itself, it is often more damaging. Where just going through the chemo and radiation
Hmm.
can just suck a patient's will to live, and then they don't want to get up in the morning. They just
It's also about
I'm
quality of life during
not,
during your recovery or
not
during
worth living anymore, and they just give up. And so I've
your.
seen that so many times, where they just kind of waste away over 6 months to a year and just disappear. And so that's what we want to avoid, and just build people up instead of tearing them down too quickly. So that's the idea.
Now, your book is number one Amazon, bestseller. It was the number one new release on several markets. Yet there's a fight. It's a fight to put this kind of messaging out. Why are we still blocking it, in your opinion?
Yeah, it's a challenge to really understand, because I'm basically not against conventional medicine in any way as far as doing what they're doing. So I'm just saying we have these answers that have been studied, the research is out there, but the conventional doctors just don't have the time to study those, to look at those research studies.
Yeah.
So
Because there's always the concern on liability.
being able to look at the periphery of everything that's been studied and everything that we've learned from science, and it's the greatest age of information with the internet and with international communication now. It's so much easier for these scientists in India and China and South America and all over the place to study these different aspects of cancer. But there's just so much information that we don't have time to study it all, or understand it all, or accumulate it all. So
Or discern.
bringing it into one resource with this book, we're bringing all those resources under one roof that can just hand to your doctor and say, these are all the scientific references for all of these herbs and supplements and lifestyle changes. And these are the studies. This is the work that's been done. And it's shown to actually target the cancer cells and help the healthy cells be more safe and protected and healthy. And that's all we're trying to do, is just help increase that level of health. And then, raising waters raise all ships, right? So every pathway that you work on can help the other pathways be even more healthy and balanced and optimized. And so it does become that upward spiral, where the more hope you have, the more better you're going to sleep. The more you sleep, the better your immune system is going to function. The better your immune system functions, the better
The
your
stronger
immune system is going to be able to attack and target those cancer cells. And so it all is this interrelated web, like we said, that just covers all the bases.
And it's not just for people with the diagnosis, it's also for the caregivers. It's also for anybody who's been touched by a diagnosis, right?
Yeah,
That's
the best.
important that you all speak one language, or you're all on the same, side of the strategy that you put in place, because each diagnosis, each person is unique.
Exactly. Yeah, it's a resource to kind of show all the options that are available for each pathway, or at least the most well accepted and well studied. I tried to be as comprehensive as possible, but we don't want a 1,000-page book. We want to keep that down and keep it readable. So
Yeah, or too academic. You're right. This is
so
your
yeah,
book. I've read it. Is for everyday people. It is full of compassion and understanding, and in love, which is not normally you hear from your physician or from your doctor, right? So that is such a breath of fresh air. Now you have a special for all of us as we head into onto the holidays. Can you tell us about it, please?
Yeah, for the Kindle version of the book, the dates are going to be in the description below. But yeah, for the paperback version of the book, there's a special discount of 20% off. And by the time this airs, that might be different. So we'll have to think about
We'll put the information down below
airing
for
time.
sure.
We'll have to update it in the description of the available discount dates. But there's going to be a few dates where the Kindle version will be free for 2 or 3 days, and so that'll be a great time to download if money's
Brilliant.
tight or anything like that. And
Now,
then the paperback book is, like I said, 20% off for the rest of 2025. But we'll see when this airs.
it will air right away. You sit on our board at the World Organization of Energy and Frequency Medicine, and you are a constant champion of, all things natural and all things that enhance our life. And we are certainly going to put all of the link information, more information about your community of practice. We have another segment that we've already prepared that goes into all of the deliverables and what you can expect and why it matters to be surrounded by people who are in harmony with your thinking, right? Because it's as much as quality as it is quantity of life. Dr. Lemon, thank you so much for joining us once again. And we're going to be hearing a lot more from you. That is for sure. Thank you. And we'll put all of the information in the link below. Thank you.
Thank you
And
so
until
much.
next time.